Hello again, guys and girls, the Gears of War community. Welcome back to another Gears of War 3 gameplay commentary. Today, I am bringing you a gameplay on the slab, another quick match, full quick match, I think, something like that. I only ever get gameplays on either quick match or in competitive because ranked is just so dull for me, you know. Because if I'm playing by myself, I'm almost always going to get matched up with other people playing by themselves, but there's always still a major chance of getting matched up against a 5-man team, and that just annoys the hell out of me when you see 5 people like, oh my god, we must win this for our win-loss ratios. It should go on our CV and we shall forever be known as the best. And it's like, ugh, please just stop. Ranked doesn't mean anything at all ever to anybody ever. Yeah, went on a bit of a tangent on that, but yeah. Anyway, just a quick thing. This Thursday, our team captain, Fruin, or RNX Fruz, however you wish to know him, well, he got invited by, I think it was a Microsoft PR rep, something like that. And him and a few other guys from the Gal Forum got invited to play Gears of War Judgment early, the full game, early down in London, and I think it's mainly because they realise EGL is so close to the launch date of Gears of War Judgment, so they invited a lot of the admins and things from the Gal Forum to come and play Gears of War, and they also paid for things like travel, which is pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to try and coerce them into doing a bit of dual com with me, so we can give you a little bit of information pre-launch, and you can learn a little bit more about what, assuming that they don't hand out some, what are they, no talk about it agreement, whatever it is. Anyway, so going into this commentary, recently someone asked me in a comment if I would do a video talking about what it is like to go into competitive for the first time. So we've discussed how to get into it, but what is it like making the transfer from normal ranked quick match play, you know, chilled out, just having a bit of fun, to full-on competitive with your teammates, having great times, you know, going for that win, playing against other really good players. What is that like? What is the major things that cause trouble for people who are going into that? So there's a few major things I've got written down. I don't want to go too far into it because it seems like this could be a series or something that could be gone more in depth once Gears of War Judgment comes out, so I don't want to go too far into what might be a problem now and might not be in a month's time, but you never know. So I just wanted to do this for those guys who are getting into it, so it's just a few basic things which seem to trouble almost anybody on almost any game. So first off, the major thing of all competitive teams is your communication. If you've ever heard a pro team or a top team communicate, it sounds a little like this.
Hey, mid lane.
They're gonna push me!
Yeah.
First, second! Myra's full!
Down Moira, Jack! Down Moira!
One's leave it. Round on me!
Yeah, Jack, oh, watch that!
On next one shot! Go wide, full! Shoot wide!
He's on the off!
Underneath me, Jack, out!
Jack, push around on him!
And that is pretty overwhelming for anybody who hasn't heard something like that before. And it's basically, to those of you who don't know or haven't seen or listened to many competitive matches, scrims, listen-ins, it seems like people are just screaming at each other, and in a sense that is kind of what it is, but it's all about knowing what needs to be said, what you need your teammates to hear, what your teammates could use maybe, and what your teammates just like, you know, just basic information to let them know what's going on. So you really need to, with communication, you need to start first off learning what you need to shout, what you need to say, what you kind of, you know, there's a player over there, should I call that? Yes, you should. There's a player picking something up, should you call that? Yes, you should. You should almost call almost anything, but don't call out the petty stuff that isn't necessary, because there's always a few things which you sit there and you think, oh yeah, should I call that, shouldn't I? There's always a few things which you shouldn't call out. Like, let's say you've got 4 guys who are defending a ring, and there's a blatant open spot. You know, you're getting shot at, and someone's shooting at you from mid-bridge. Everybody can see that. You don't need to call that, because you calling that could end up overwhelming, or kind of you could call that over someone else calling something which is more important. Now, as well, you need to learn how to, or what is more important to call. So let's say someone is being pushed, and that is a very big thing, so you need to shout that. Someone is, or a player is moving around, so you just need to kind of let your teammates know, you know. It's just about knowing what is, or about thinking about what is more important to be called. What is more in the moment, what people need to have more direct intervention into, rather than just giving them a piece of information. As well, with communication comes awareness, so you really need to learn how to think about what's going on. You really need to learn to take in what everybody's saying, because it can be a bit overwhelming at the start when you go into competitive and you realise everybody's shouting at me. I can't really concentrate on the game and listening to them at the same time. So that's another major thing. You need to get used to that. It was big for me as well when I first started off. Everybody was calling out, everybody was shouting, and I couldn't really realise what everybody was saying at the same time. And that's another reason why a lot of people think that when they listen to a big pro team shouting at each other, screaming at each other, or even just all communicating at the same time, they realise, or they sit there and they ask, why are they all shouting? No one can understand each other. It's something you get used to over time, learning to listen to what everybody's saying at the same time, and that comes with awareness. And other things is just learning to notice things that you might not usually notice. Maybe out of the corner of your eye, you see someone moving down on some part of the map, and you need to call that out, but you don't, maybe you don't always notice that, but you need to learn how to notice things which are just kind of peripheral. Another big thing for me, and this was for me and a few other people, positioning. This is a major bane of a lot of new players. You need to think about where you are all the time. When I first started off, I had a teacher who was constantly having a go at me about my positioning. It helped me out in the long run, but in the short one, it was just like, I'm always doing something wrong. But you really need to learn to think about what people are doing. This comes, again, with awareness. Think about where people are going, where the enemy's going, where your teammates are. How can they help you if you're in this position opposed to this position? How can you get shot if you're in this position opposed to this position? Prime example of this was back when we used to play Overpass on GB. We end up having to camp up top, and someone would be on the side with a taut bow, and they just clip someone off, and you'd just be like, oh no, I didn't notice that, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see him there. Well, you shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. You shouldn't have been somewhere where he can hit you with that. That comes into awareness and positioning. So the final thing I just want to quickly go over is helping teammates. This is a major thing. When you're playing, people just don't tend to think about helping their teammates out. They don't tend to sit there and go, I just want to go for this 1v, you know? They just sit there and go, oh yeah, it's all about my 1v. If I win my 1v, then I can help my teammate out. No, it's all about thinking in the moment. What can you do from your position, from like where you're playing on the map? How can you assist a teammate in getting their 1v1 easier, rather than you just both going for it and hoping that you win? So those are just some basic things that end up being the bane of new players. But if you enjoyed the commentary, guys, please leave me a like and a subscribe. But for now, guys, thank you for watching, and goodbye.